Hey guys, welcome to Talking the Talkies. I'm Peter Waters, and today I'll be reviewing Zack Snyder's latest zombie film, Army of the Dead, which is currently now streaming on Netflix, as well as playing for a limited time in movie theaters, which is how I saw the film. So Zack Snyder has been having a great year so far. Earlier in March, HBO released his 4.5 hour long director's cut of the movie Justice League, split into 4 different parts. Now, originally, Snyder left the movie for the theatrical version because he was dealing with a family tragedy, and the Avengers director Joss Whedon was brought on to finish the film. When that was released to theaters, both critics and audiences alike did not care for the movie at all, and the 2 different tones between Snyder and Whedon did not mesh well at all, and it was just kind of a mess of a movie, and you could tell that there was a lot of behind-the-scenes drama. However, with the release of the Snyder Cut, released thanks to a lot of fans demanding it online, Zack Snyder sort of redeemed himself and brought his vision back, what he wanted the movie to be, and for better or worse, it is his vision. I didn't really much care for either version of Justice League, but I do think it's good on Snyder for sticking the landing and turning the narrative around and sort of redeeming himself. And speaking of comebacks, Army of the Dead marks Snyder's comeback to the zombie genre. His debut film was a remake of Dawn of the Dead, the original George Romero satirical horror masterpiece. Snyder made his mark with that film. He included running zombies, kind of similar to 28 Days Later, and it was an amazing debut. It was fast-paced, it was action-heavy, it was scary. I still think the first scene in Dawn of the Dead is one of the scariest scenes ever in a zombie movie. I personally saw that at a very young age. I must have been around 12, I want to say, when that movie hit theaters, and I was probably a little too young to see it, but those are the movies that tend to have an impact on you. Being the first zombie movie I ever saw, it definitely had an impact on me. As you might tell, I'm a horror movie fan. So over a decade later, now Zack Snyder has returned with Army of the Dead. As opposed to his first movie, which, he was sort of still learning the ropes, now he has all of his experience working in these massive DC Comics movie universes, and now he has the budget to make an even more expansive zombie movie. So the plot of Army of the Dead is that there's a zombie outbreak that was contained within Las Vegas. The city has been walled off, and it is about to be nuked in a matter of hours by the president. However, there is a team of mercenaries led by Dave Bautista, who you might recognize as Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy, and he is making a team to pull off one big heist at one of the Las Vegas casinos. So it's a very simple but effective action movie plot. So Army of the Dead, to me, is a return to form for Zack Snyder. He's a very great visual director, and the CGI and the practical effects in this are amazing. Zack Snyder is very famous for having wonderful opening credit scenes, and Army of the Dead is no exception. Just like with Watchmen or with Batman vs. Superman, he uses slow motion to create almost like these living paintings, and in this case, it is showing how the zombie outbreak started in Las Vegas and how, people were turning and fighting the zombies and the military got involved, and it tells a lot of story purely visually, and it's extremely cinematic, and for any fans of the Dawn of the Dead remake that he made, will recognize on the soundtrack Richard Cheese, who is this very delightful lounge singer who sings covers of unexpected songs, and he did a cover of Disturbed's Down with the Sickness in the Dawn of the Dead remake, and in here, of course, he sings Viva Las Vegas, and it is so wonderful and bloody and action-heavy, and you can tell that this is a huge budgeted movie. This is not a low-budget zombie movie at all, which is sort of what zombie fans are used to. We have had big-budget zombie movies in the past, like World War Z, and arguably I Am Legend, but this one really feels like a horror movie, whereas those two felt more like action movies. Essentially, Army of the Dead feels a lot like James Cameron's Aliens, only instead of aliens, it's zombies. What I really loved and appreciated about this movie, in addition to the special effects and the zombies, which look incredible, And I'm assuming that the sort of leader of the zombies, there's a zombie king and queen in this movie, I'm assuming that that might become a Halloween couples item this Halloween. I hope so, anyway. But in addition to all of that, I really love the characters in this movie, and I did not expect that, especially because in Justice League, a lot of the characters were just, I don't know, kind of bland. But here they are all distinctive, whether they're good guys or bad guys. You either really are rooting for the good guys and really rooting against the bad guys in this movie. They're very simple, but they are effective. One of my favorite comedians, who usually guest stars on talk shows like the Conan O'Brien show, Tig Notaro, is in this movie as a helicopter pilot, and I absolutely love her sort of dry, sarcastic sensibility. In this very intense, pressured situation, she is just very cool and collected, and she's smoking a cigarette, and she's just waiting for, everybody to do what they're doing while she gets the helicopter ready. It's a good thing she's good in the movie, because Netflix actually spent millions of dollars to put her in the movie. Originally, her role was played by comedian Chris D'Elia, who, after all of his scenes were shot, or most of his scenes were shot, he was accused of sexual abuse, and so Netflix and Zack Snyder decided to digitally replace his scenes that he shot with Tig Notaro in the same role, and so they actually had to go in and digitally replace him with Tig, which cost a lot of money and a lot of green screen, but when you watch the movie, it actually looks pretty seamless. And I was kind of looking for that as I watched the movie, and I did notice, like, here and there they used tricks to sort of put her in the movie. But if you had no idea that an actor was digitally replaced, the effect is seamless and you wouldn't even know. Another character I really liked was the Safecracker character. I'm not even going to try to butcher his name, but he was also really funny in the movie. He is the opposite of cool, though. He is sort of the nerdy safecracker who is only brought along because he's the one who can open the vault. But at the same time, he wants to prove himself, and he has a lot of funny interactions with these like big, meaty, muscular guys. And he's just like this skinny nerd who geeks out over, vault security things. There are some really fantastic sequences in this movie, some great action beats. There's one scene involving glow sticks where the characters are trying to follow a trail through these sort of hibernating zombies that's very intense. It's a genuinely scary, thrilling movie. It hits on all cylinders. It is exactly the type of zombie action movie you want from someone like Zack Snyder. It's a lot of fun. I am giving it 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was great for what it is. It ain't Shakespeare. It's called Army of the Dead. You know what you're in for, and it totally delivers. So that about wraps up my thoughts on Army of the Dead. Check it out if you're into zombies, or action movies, or both. You can't go wrong. If you want to check out more of my reviews, you can visit my Letterboxd page, and if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, and feel free to subscribe or leave a comment. And until next time, I'll see you later.